Hey Leo, this is your look at the astrology of May 2021. My name is Katie Sweetman and this is Empowering Astrology. So let's take a look at the month. And I think it's important to understand a couple of bigger points. And we talked about this more than likely in last month's horoscope. Yes, Leo, you are in a time of big professional change. And that might be different things for different Leos. You know, for some people, you've made a radical departure over the past couple of years, or you are thinking of making a radical departure of what you're presently doing in your professional life. Or you're thinking, how can I do it more? How can I get bigger? How can I let go of fears? How can I stop playing safe? So the idea is that over the next 4 or 5 years until 2025, 2026, you are shifting your professional life so that it is ideally more in alignment with the real you. So meaning not doing something professionally just because that's what your family wanted or the safe thing to do or the thing you were supposed to do. And that's the thing, Leo, and I've had this, with this kind of conversation with a lot of my Leo rising clients, is that you need to make sure that the script that you're using is your script, not anybody else's script. So this is Taurus season, and Taurus is sort of every time this year, it's time to revisit this story about your professional life. And with the Taurus new moon on May 11th, it's your time to reset, to maybe look for a new job, to network, to really think about what is it that is in alignment with your professional values or what you really want to do in the world. But, that said, not to get ahead of myself, we do start the month off with Mercury going into Gemini on May 3rd, and then kind of 5 days later, followed by Venus in Gemini on May 8th. So Gemini for you is your sign of socializing, social networking, friends, community. And I know I kind of did this big spiel about your professional life, but maybe, as you go into May, you've got to network. If you're thinking about making a career change, how do you reach out to the people that are going to give you the information that you need, or support, or community support? Or maybe you need to kind of have, coffee dates with people and pick their brains about how they went about their changes or whatever. But nevertheless, it is a time that is about friends and community and really seeing, kind of checking in with your social network. Like I said, we do have a new moon on May 11th, and this is a new moon that opens up a lunar month that is not just focused on career, everything we've just been talking about, but it does open up a lunar month that will bring in eclipse season. So not to get ahead of myself, but we're going to have a lunar eclipse 2 weeks later on May 26th, and this lunar eclipse is, lunar eclipses, they make things move, they demand action, they sort of put things right and front and forward. God, that's not English, but you know what I mean. Right in front of your face. That's what I was looking for. And this lunar eclipse is putting the spotlight on creativity, talent, self-expression, and you being you. And maybe it's time, as you're making all these potential professional changes, it's also a good time to remember exactly who you are. And so this is percolating, as you get into the middle of the month. The lunar eclipse is at the end of the month, but there's other things that are going on before it. Namely, we have Jupiter going into Pisces on May 13th. And if you are somebody who pays attention to the astrology like I do, you're like, wait a second, didn't we just have Jupiter go into Aquarius back in December? And you're correct. And normally Jupiter spends about a year in a sign, and in this part of the zodiac, it tends to go a little bit more quickly, but Jupiter will dip into Pisces on May 13th and dip out of Pisces on July 28th. But what does this mean for you? I mean, Jupiter is your sign of self-expression. It's, Pisces for you is a sign that talks about your inner self, your inner work, your inner life. And maybe you have to, do a lot of inner work, as you are starting to dip into the second half of May and even going into July. we all have a rich inner world, but sometimes we have to really face ourselves. And Jupiter gives us the courage and bravery and the confidence to dig into ourselves, to go deep into our psyche, to take risks, to change, to transform. So maybe, you've been thinking about making changes, but some fears have been coming up. But Jupiter maybe is actually giving you support to do so. And yes, this full moon, at the end of the month, the lunar eclipse is putting you in a spotlight in a way. It's, talking about the self and self-expression. And maybe, with Jupiter over in Pisces in your 8th sign, you have to sort of look at where you self-sabotage, you get in your way, you don't express who you are. Or maybe the flip side of this full moon lunar eclipse is that you really find your internal power, your bravery, your courage, your need to really truly step out there and express the fullness of who you are. So it might mean a couple of things or different things for different people. It's just something to keep in mind. The other big thing this month is that Saturn turns retrograde in Aquarius. And Aquarius is your sign of relationships, connection, partnership. So you're in this sort of bigger period of time where you have to get serious about relationships. If you're not in a relationship, and by the way, this is all relationships, not just romantic relationships. If you are in a relationship, Saturn is saying, okay, is this the one? Is this the person? If it's not, Saturn might sort of force you to make some serious decisions, because Saturn's a very black and white planet. You can't, be on the fence with somebody. And then Saturn comes and Saturn's like, this person's not going to work. Or Saturn is saying to you, this is what you need in a relationship. You need equity, you need balance, you need somebody who helps you to create equity and balance in your life. And these are things that are very important because as humans, we can't do things alone. We need other people to create balance in our lives. So this is not just, again, romantic relationships, it's all partnership. And maybe this is a time when you have to look at all your relationships, how you connect with everybody, because this is a larger period of time of building a very strong sense of one-on-one personal connection. For some people, this is a time of marriage. For other people, you're moving in with a partner. For other people, serious connections are coming in. For other people, you're having to reevaluate existing connections and existing partnership because now the bar is higher. That's what Saturn does. It sets a higher bar. So this is something to keep in mind if a relationship issue comes up around May 13th, I think I said, not May 13th, May 23rd is when Saturn turns retrograde. So it's just kind of a serious point. Saturn's a serious planet, but I think it's always important to understand that Saturn's always looking out for our higher good and trying to get us back in alignment with our highest potential. So if something has to shift, how do you reframe it? How do you look at it in a different way? We are, going to Gemini season as of May 20th. And for you, Gemini is your signs of friends and communities. You're sort of shifting into this time where it is about who are the people in your life, which sort of like doubles up on this other theme with Saturn about connection and one-on-one connection. And then there's the lunar eclipse at the end of the month. So this lunar eclipse isn't hitting on things like it is for other signs. Nevertheless, it is a time to get serious about who you are and what you have to create and to put out there in the world. I say this for the Leos for whom this is relevant, but for some Leos, this is about pregnancy. It's about children. It's about physically creating something. For other Leos, you're like, no kids. For other Leos, you're like, I want to create a creative project. I want something, music, art. I want something to be an extension of me. And if you are thinking, I'm not creative, Katie, I'm like, you're a Leo. You're creative somewhere, but this full moon is a reminder that we all need creativity, we need passion, we need something that really lights that spark within. And if you've been feeling like you don't have a spark, how do you get it back, Leo? So this is a full moon to do the deep dive and to see why you lost that spark. I know it's been a hard year, so maybe this is a good time to come back to yourself, Leo. So that is your look at the astrology of May 2021. Again, my name is Katie Sweetman. You can follow me online at empoweringastrology.com. I'm an astrologer and psychic medium here in Brooklyn, New York. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can book a consultation with me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And of course, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. And that's it. I will see you all next month. Take care. Bye.